The Balazier Juice Chronicles, 10 Years of PNM Mismanagement under Dr. Keith Rowley, an editorial by Tina Trashmore. The image is visceral, satirical, and brutally honest. A fire truck branded PNM Mismanagement Department, serving excuses since 1991, blasts citizens with what it calls the Balazier juice, made from broken promises, wasted money, poor planning, and empty excuses. A sign reads, "Welcome to Trinidad, beautiful land, broken promises." Citizens hold placards screaming, "Enough is enough. We deserve better, and no more excuses. Deliver results." It is satire, but it is also a documentary. For 10 years, from 2015 to 2025, Dr. Keith Rowley and the People's National Movement governed Trinidad and Tobago. The record is not a matter of opinion. It is a matter of documented, verifiable, public fact. The economy, a decade of decline. When the PNM took office in September 2015, Trinidad and Tobago was already navigating an energy revenue downturn. What followed was not a managed transition, it was a prolonged contraction. The economy contracted for multiple consecutive years. Energy sector revenues fell sharply. Foreign exchange shortages became a structural feature of daily commercial life, not a temporary inconvenience, but a permanent condition that strangled businesses, manufacturers, and importers for the better part of a decade. The TNT Guardian notification visible in the image itself is telling. While the economy is expected to grow by only 0.7% in 2026, that is the legacy. That is what 10 years of PNM stewardship produced, a nation limping toward marginal growth after a lost decade. Energy sector, squandered opportunity. Trinidad and Tobago sits atop one of the most significant natural gas reserves in the Western Hemisphere. The PNM inherited a functioning, if imperfect, energy economy. What they delivered was a decade of declining production, aging infrastructure, and missed opportunities to diversify. The Petrotrin refinery, a national asset employing thousands, was shuttered in 2018. The closure was presented as an economic necessity. Citizens were told it was unsustainable. What followed was a restructuring that displaced workers, destabilized communities in South Trinidad, and left the nation without domestic refining capacity. The promised transformation into Paria Fuel Trading Company and Heritage Petroleum produced neither the efficiency nor the employment that was promised. Meanwhile, the Guaracara refinery rehabilitation, a project of national strategic importance, moved at a pace that frustrated investors, workers, and energy analysts alike. Crime, a national emergency that became normal. Perhaps no failure of the Rowley administration is more devastating or more personal than the crime crisis. Trinidad and Tobago recorded murder tolls that placed it among the most dangerous nations on Earth on a per capita basis. Year after year, the government declared states of emergency. It deployed soldiers. It promised legislation. It blamed social media. It blamed the opposition. It blamed the diaspora. It blamed everyone but itself. What it never delivered was a coherent, sustained, intelligence-led crime reduction strategy with measurable outcomes. Families buried their children. Communities lived under siege. And the Mismanagement Department kept serving excuses. Public services, the infrastructure of failure. The fire truck in the image lists today's delivery with grim accuracy. Power cuts. TTC outages became so routine that generators became standard household equipment. Bad roads, billions allocated, billions spent. Roads remained in shocking disrepair. Water problems. WASA's dysfunction reached crisis proportions, with some communities receiving pipe-borne water once per week or less. No jobs. Youth unemployment remained stubbornly high throughout the decade. More excuses. The one deliverable the PNM never ran short of governance and accountability. The Rowley years were marked by recurring governance controversies. The handling of the COVID-19 pandemic produced both policy missteps and procurement questions that were never satisfactorily answered in the public domain. The management of state enterprises raised persistent concerns about transparency and value for money. The freedom of the press, always a barometer of democratic health, faced recurring tension, with independent media voices and commentators finding themselves the subject of scrutiny, while state-adjacent media amplified government narratives. The Lion King question. The editorial designation of Dr. Rowley as the Lion King is not merely rhetorical. It reflects a decade of documented instances where public statements made from the highest office in the land were subsequently contradicted by facts, by evidence, by the lived experience of citizens. From energy production figures to crime statistics, from foreign exchange availability to infrastructure timelines, the gap between what was said and what was real became so wide, so consistent, that citizens stopped expecting accuracy and simply learned to read between the lines. In conclusion, what the image really shows. The citizens in that image are not passive. They're not begging. They are standing, drenched in a decade of broken promises, and they are demanding accountability. Enough is enough. We deserve better. That was not just a slogan on a placard. That was the mandate delivered by the people of Trinidad and Tobago at the ballot box in 2025, when they returned the United National Congress and Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar to power. The Balazier juice truck has been retired. Now comes the hard work of rebuilding what a decade of mismanagement dismantled.